So this is where I'll be handing over to my colleague Ashley, who will be talking more about how to become a general practitioner in Australia, the visa process, and the cost as well. Thank you all for those who listened, and I hope what I said was understood and informative. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Eze, and thank you for that and that insight. Great to hear from someone who's not only recruiting for GPs to move to Australia, but has actually lived and worked and experienced life in Australia as well for the years that you were there. Um, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you a brief overview of what steps it takes to become a general practitioner in Australia. Um, in the last 6 months, those steps have changed quite significantly, which have really made the process much more simple and straightforward than it was previously. And I'll highlight some of that in the coming slides. Um, if we look at the timescales involved, if we go back probably 6 to 8 months, it used to take some GPs anywhere between a year to 18 months to make the move from making the decision initially to make the move to making that move become a reality. With some of the changes that have been made more recently, that's really closed that window down, and realistically GP can now, from the point of making a decision to want to make a move, getting into process with the clients that we work with, can make that dream become a reality within 6 to 8 months, sometimes quicker if they've got the paperwork ready, ready and able to go. So for GPs to make the move, the main criteria is obviously initially to get registered on the Australian um, RACGP Council is to have qualified in the UK through the UK system. That's one of the simplest moves to be able to make. There's a comparability test that takes place to compare the skills of the UK-based GP versus the Australian healthcare model, and the GPs that make that quickest and smoothest transition are those that have come through the UK medical training scheme. There are other exceptions to that, where if you've got GPs that have qualified overseas and then come across and worked in the UK for a period of time and done equivalent qualifications, but that's the start point for the process. If we can just move on to the next slide, please. So what this slide shows you is just an overview of the different stages that you would need to go through to make the practical steps to become a GP registered in Australia. The first step prior to this, or first stage in the process, would be liaising with an employer that you're going to go and attempt to work with over in Australia.